Hey guys, it's your girl Kaylee Sparks here with you today. So today we are going to do this super cute crochet cover-up dress with bra attachment. A big shout out to KMJ Creations TT. She is the one that requests this tutorial, guys. KMJ Creation, I made a little twist to it. I give it a little sparks touch. So I hope you like it. So I also want to give a big shout out to Jessica Lady Lioness Martindale. She is the one that let me know what's the name of the stitch that I'm doing. She researched it, so I have to give her a big shout out. She put a lot of interest in it and researched it. It is called an extended half double crochet. So big shout out to you. She is also in the Chasing Sun Rays Sun Cling. I hope I'm calling that name correctly, but she is in that crochet group on Facebook. You check it out. It is super nice group. So let's jump straight into this video. These are the items that we are going to use for today: a tapestry needle to weave in our ends, a 4mm crochet hook, and also a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and we are using 2 yarn today. It's optional, guys. You can just use one if you want. We are using yellow and an army color. So let's jump straight into this video. Start off by creating a slip knot, chain up 16, hold on to that 16 and chain up 2. So we are about to do a extended half double crochet. So yarn over and go into that 16 spot that you were holding, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through all 3. So that's an extended half double crochet. So you're just going to continue to go into each and every space until you reach to this end. I'll tell you what next to do. So I'm close to the end of this rounds. Going to that last stitch, and you're going to go into this stitch 3 times in all. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So chain up 2, yarn over, go back into that same stitch 3 times. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So yarn over and go into the next stitches, and I'll meet you back when you reach to the end of this row. So I'm close to the end of this round. So yarn over, go into this last stitch. This stitch is always hiding, so please do not forget that last stitch. If you don't make that stitch, your work can come out bad. So chain up 2, turn your work, and continue to do your extended half double crochet. And if you're a beginner, you can place it in between this section, but I like the pattern, so I'm going right in between this V right here. So you're just going to continue and do your extended half double crochet into each and every space. When you reach to the top, I'll tell you what next to do. So I'm close to the end of this section. I'm close to the top. So yarn over, go in between this space with 2 extended half double crochet. So that's 1, and that's 2. Chain up 1, yarn over, go back into that same space with 2 extended half double crochet. Guys, it's optional. You don't have to be using extended half double crochet. You can just use your normal double crochet. Alright, so just continue to do this and I'll meet you at the end of this rounds. So I'm on the finishing of rounds 2. This bra cup is for a B cup, so I'm not looking guys, please do not leave this last space right here. For this bra cup, I'm not looking a full coverage. Chain up 2. So if you're looking at full coverage, guys, make your rows even more than the amount that I'm going to do. Alright, so I will be changing my colors very soon, so I want you to just continue to make the row, continue to make your bra cup to the size that you want it to, and I'll let you know how much rows that I'm going to do. So I'm close to the end of row 5, so I did 5 rows in all, and I'll be switching my color. Remember guys, it is optional. You don't have to switch your color. So yarn over and go into that last stitch. It's always hiding. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and then we're going to switch our color. So we have 3 on our hook, so make a slip knot with your change of color. Remember guys, it is optional. Pull right through all 3 and make a chain 1 to fasten that section. Tug on your yarn and then chain up 2. Turn your work, weave in your ends while you go. So yarn over, go into that first stitch and you're going to create a shell. Alright, so we did part of our shell now. So chain 2 and do the next half of our shell. You don't, this section is optional as well guys. You don't have to make a shell on this section. You can just finish off your work with this. Alright, chain up 2, yarn over, skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go into your 6th space with an extended half double crochet to create your shell. So create a shell into that space. Chain up 2, yarn over, skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go into your 6th space and create a shell. And you're just going to continue to do this, and when you reach to the top, I'll tell you what next to do. So I reached to the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my 6 will be in the center of my bra cup. So just create your shell into that space. And then chain up 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go into that 6th spot and create your shell. And you're just going to continue to do this, and I'll meet you at the end of this bra cup. So I reach close to the end, count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go into that last stitch and create your shell. And then chain up 2 and then cut off your yarn. So your work's supposed to be looking like this. This is how your bra cup's supposed to look, with the shell going around the edge. Alright, so I'm going to do the next bra cup off camera and I'll be back with you. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and be a part of the Sparks family. Remember, each one teach one. So I finished my 2 bra cup and now I'm going to make an attachment to go at the top and one to go around the waist. Alright, so start off by making a slip knot and make a chain that is long enough to go all the way around your waist. So I have 230 chain, and if you notice I changed my hook to the 5mm hook. Alright, so this is to weave in to this section. So now I'm going to do the section on top of the bra cup. So make a slip knot, place your hook in between the top of your bra where the shell is, put on your slip knot and make a chain to start fasten it on. Alright, then make a chain now that is long enough to go all the way around your neck and to tie a bow. Alright, so I did 120 chain. Just drag that and tug it off, and I'm going to do the next one off camera and I'll be back with you. So I did my straps and now I'm going to weave in my ends off camera, and then we are going to go to the section down here. This is where we're going to do our attachment in the exact middle of our bra. Alright, so if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting on? Hit that subscribe button and be a part of the Sparks family. So we're going to start the bottom. So turn it over. Make sure that everything that you turn over is on the same side. Alright, make sure that they match on the same side. Create your slip knot. Go right into the exact middle of your bra. Put on your slip knot. Pull up and chain 1. Chain up 2. Yarn over. Go back into that same space with a extended half double crochet because we are creating our shell. And then you're going to make a chain that is long enough to go right over onto the opposite side. Alright, so I have 24 chain. Make sure that your chain is not twist. Alright, now we are going to attach from one side to the next. So yarn over, go right into that space in the middle of your bra cup and create a shell. Remember guys, this amount of chain that I did, it's optional. It depends on your size. This outfit is for a person with a 32 bra cup and a 38 hip. Alright, so turn your work and you are going to slip stitch into the first 2 stitches. So that's 1, that's 2, chain up 2, yarn over, go back into that same space and create a shell. And make a chain that is longer than the chain that you did before. So this, for this chain I make 28, yarn over, go on top of your shell and create a shell. So if you notice guys, the first one was 24 and this one is 28, so I'm going to do them with a skip of 4. all right, I'm doing it with a space of 4. So turn your work, slip stitch into the first 2 stitches, chain up 2, yarn over and create your shell. I hope you guys are understanding how I'm doing this, and make a chain now that is longer than our previous chain. So our first chain was 24, our second chain is 28, so this chain is supposed to be 32. So I did my 32 chain, yarn over, go on top of my shell and create a shell. This is a beginner's friendly video guys. I know that you will catch it. Please tag me in it on Instagram when you finish your work. I love seeing your work guys. All the link is down below in the description. Check it out guys. Always check in the description. There are important stuff in the description. So go into your next 2 stitches with slip stitch. That's 1 and that's 2. Then make chain 2, yarn over, go into that space and create your shell. So you're just going to continue to do this, and I will tell you how much rows that I'm going to do with the same increase until I reach to the waist section. So just continue doing this and continue making chain a little bit longer than the previous one that you did. All right, so I make a chain of 52, yarn over, go on top of your shell and create your shell. All right, so I did 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 rows in all. So now I'm going to go around my waist section. So this is actually half of my waist measurement. So what I'm going to do now is make a chain that is long enough to go around my waist and come all the way and attach right here for my waist. I'll let you know how much chain. So I did a chain of 57 on the opposite side. Slip stitch into your starting chain and then slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Then make a chain, chain 2, then start over with your shell. Alright, so for the front we are going to keep that measurement of 52. We are not going to change that 52 measurement at the front. Alright, so make a chain of 52. So yarn over, I did 52 chain, go into my shell and create a shell. Alright, so for the back of my dress now, the chain that we did before, we did it with an uneven number. We did it with the chain with 57 chain. So we find the half of it, put a stitch marker inside of it. So it'll be 28, 28 and the half of 28, that extra one chain, we have a stitch marker in it. So chain up 28. So I have a chain of 28 chain. So yarn over, right where we have our stitch marker, we are going to put an extended half double crochet. Remember guys, it's optional, you don't have to use the extended half double crochet, you can use your regular double crochet. So make sure that your chain is not twist. Alright, yarn over, go into that spot where we remove our stitch marker from and place a shell. And then make a chain of 28 to reach to the starting chain. So I chain up 28 and now I'm going to slip stitch right into my starting chain. So just like that, that's how it's supposed to look. Alright, let me spin it around. That's how it's supposed to look, guys. Alright, so just slip stitch into your next 2 stitches as usual. Create your shell on top of your shell. And chain up 52 for the front section of our dress. So chain up a chain of 28, 28, so yarn over and go into that shell at the back of your dress and create a shell. And then chain up 28 again. So that's 28. Slip stitch into your starting chain and slip stitch into the first 2 stitches. Chain up 2, yarn over, go back into that space and create your shell. Chain up 52. So remember we did chain of 28. Now we're going to do an increase, so we're going to do chain of 29 in this section and this section. Same way if we're doing a short, we'll do increase so that our hip will be okay. So we're going to do an increase in this section and this section. So chain of 29. So I did my chain of 29, yarn over, go on top of my shell and create a shell. And then chain of 29 again. So 29, slip stitch into your starting chain, slip stitch into your next 2 stitches, and then chain up 2, yarn over, go back into that same spot and make your shell. chain up your 52. So I chain 52, do one more extra chain, so that's 53. Yarn over, go into your shell and create a shell. So we did an increase at the front. Alright, so we're going to do an increase at the back again, the two section at the back. So chain up 30. So I did a chain of 30, yarn over, go into your shell space and create a shell. And then make a chain of 30 again. So I chain 30, slip stitch into your starting chain, slip stitch into your first two stitches as usual. Always remember to slip stitch in your first two stitches, chain up 2, yarn over, go back into that space and create your shell. Make a chain of 54. So I make a chain of 54. Remember the one that we did before was 53, so this is an increase as well. So go in on top of your shell and create a shell. We're going to do an increase in the back as well, the two section of the back. Alright, so the last time we did 30, chain of 30, so we are going to do chain of 31. So make a chain of 31. So I did a chain of 31, yarn over, go into the shell and create a shell. And create a chain of 31 for the next section. So that's 31. So slip stitch into your starting chain. And then slip stitch into the next two stitches. Chain up 2, yarn over, go back into that space and create your shell. So for this row, we are going to do a big increase. It all depends on your size hip. Alright, so for this one, remember the last one we did 54. For this one, we are going to do 58. So we are doing 4 extra chain into the front of this. So chain up your 58. So that's 58, yarn over, go into your shell and create your shell. So maybe you'll have to do less, or maybe you'll have to do more. It all depends on your size hip. Alright, so for the last section we do a increase of 31. For this section we are going to increase it by 2. So we are going to do 33 for the increase right here and 33 for the increase right here. So 2 extra on each side. So that's 33, yarn over, go into that space and create your double crochet. Make your shell. And then chain up 33 again. So that's 33. Slip stitch into your starting chain and slip stitch into the next 2 stitches and chain up 2, yarn over, create your shell. So for this section we are going to do another big increase because we are right on top of our hip now. So we did 58 in this row. For this row now we are going to do 62. So chain up 62. So that's 62, yarn over, go on top of your shell and create a shell. And then for this section we did 33, so add 2 to that. So we are going to do 35 on this section and 35 on that section. So chain up 35. So that's 35, yarn over, go into your shell and create a shell. And then chain up the chain of 35 again for the next section. So that's 35, so slip stitch into your starting chain and slip stitch into your next 2 stitches. So chain up 2 and create your shell in your shell for your starting chain. So we are not going to do any more increase or any decrease. So the same amount of chain that we did into this last one, we did 32, we are going to continue to do 32. For the back chain we did 35 into the 2 section at the back, we are going to continue to do 35. Remember, it depends on your size hip. Maybe you will have to do more, maybe you will have to do less. So I'm going to just continue to make it with the same amount of chain, and I'll tell you how much row in all. Make it to the length that suits you. Alright, so I did my 35 and now I'm going to slip stitch right on top of my shell, chain up 2 and then cut off your work. So this is the finishing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to weave in my section that I'm going to use on the bra. So just use your tapestry needle and just weave it in. Just do it like this. And just pull right through. So I'm going to do the same thing for the next section and then you'll see the finishing of the work. I did 16 rows at the bottom section where the waist is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I did 16 sections at the back and 23 in all rows. Alright, so remember, it's optional. Just do it the way how you like it. So I'm going to just finish weave this off camera and I'll be back with you. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and be a part of the Sparks family.